Did you know that Job in the Bible lived 140 more years after he was restored? And it is actually believed that he was about 70 years old at the time of the affliction, which means that he lived to be 210. I think that works. And if that's the case, that's kind of a clue as to when he actually lived. So we have Peleg. Peleg lived to be 239 years old, as did his son. But his father lived 400-something years. This is the generations where they were living to be about 200-something years old, right? Aside from Nahor, was like 148. He was like 230, I think. And then this is Terah, which is Abraham's father. He lived to be 205 years old. Abraham, it starts to drop. It's 175, and the numbers for ages start dropping dramatically until we get to our time, where we barely live, 80 years, 90 years. It was during the time of Peleg that God changed the language and scattered the people. Starts here. His father was Eber. Descendants of Eber are Hebrews, Abraham being a descendant of him, being the first Hebrew mentioned in the Bible. And then following him, you got the Hebrew Israelites. So since this is higher 200, 239, and we have Terah, which is Abraham's dad, living to be 205, I suspect that likely his brother, so the son of him. That seems like the reasonable age range for when he would have lived. Also considering that the area that he was from, it was Uz. Nobody really knows where Uz is. Some suggest maybe Edom, some suggest maybe Aram. And Aram does, I think, jive well with Mesopotamia, which is where the Eberites were from. And since the Bible doesn't list who his parents were, it does list a few of his children once he was restored. He got another 7 sons and 3 daughters. But that's all it really tells you about Job. But looking at those numbers, it makes sense. Time frame, it works. And I believe that is the oldest book in the Bible, Job. So that jives.